Hi, I'm Sarah.
And I'm Chantele. And let's talk about the challenge USA episode 2.
Oh, yes, this was a lit episode. But first, if you're new to this channel, please click subscribe and give this video a thumbs up. I'd appreciate it.
Can you believe I
show.
cannot believe it's episode 2 because I feel like we are in it.
We're in it.
It's so entertaining. Like every single
in it.
moment, I'm just like, what are they gonna say? What are they gonna do? What's the reactions? Like I'm like looking at everything, and I think it's because I just know all these people and their personalities decently well. You know, I
Right.
definitely enjoy watching on Big Brother or Survivor, a new season with people I've never seen before. I like getting to know people, absolutely. But for the challenge, I just love putting people that I know already into this format and watch them play the game. I find it very entertaining. But how do you find it? Because we've been trying to convince you to watch the challenge.
Yeah. Like I don't know if this is like me, I'm in this forever, but this is currently the best show on.
Yes.
Like it is, people are playing. I love the challenges because they are legitimately like hard. Yeah, challenging physically and mentally, which I love that combo. And then these people are strategic. Like I don't know if that's always the case, but these people are here to play. So and like I said, the dramatic production of this just so gets me every time. Like slow-mos jumping onto a tire, breathing. I'm like, yes, give it to me. All of it. Screams as they hit the water. Yes, thank you. Well, let's get into the episode. Hello to everybody in the chat. Hello. This is going to start with our algorithm randomly pairing people up. Oh, she's muting. I mean, how random was it?
I don't know. I said last week I didn't think it was going to be random at all. I don't think it was at all. The fact that Justine, who's mad at Tyson, now has to be with Tyson. They're hoping to maybe there be a little bit of a
that happened randomly.
Can you believe it? Who would have thought? So random.
Actual exes paired up together. Oh my God! What an algorithm.
Now, some people have been suggesting that maybe they went too soon with putting Cash and Cinco together. So what do you think about like the timeline that they're using this matchup?
I mean, I think they were like, we don't know how long they're going to be on the show, so let's just get right to it. Like why wait?
And then there's going to be new like people that are in fights or something like that you could put together that people don't want to work with. So I think that they just want to like, okay, we know that they're going to not want to work together, so let's just do that now.
Yeah. This was, I mean, I love it. Fun pairs for sure. I'm not going to fight against the producers for being messy. I'm here for it. But let's just break it down. Kylan and Sarah, sure. Derek and Tasha, wow. Kayla and James, I'm like, this is either amazing or their death sentence.
So I'm wondering
if Amazing Race.
The producers are deciding to put at least a couple of people from the same show together so that there's some potential easy nominations or easy people to throw in potentially. Like I'm not saying that there are easy, but like,
right. It's an option.
Exactly. An easier option than if it was all mixed up, where actually it could get pretty messy if it was all mixed up. But I think it does give it an easy option for people to be like, okay, well, these are two same teams. Like, let's just go after them because it has nothing to do with our two shows.
Exactly. I think that they're like going to give those options. The one thing I love about producer algorithm is that they promised no one will repeat, right? They said, everyone's going to be with everyone until that's no longer a thing. And then once you repeat once, you're not going to be able to repeat over and over again. So I do appreciate that. But right now, while they have all the options, they're going to be messy. They're going to give they're going to give us a couple options of just shows. They're going to mix up your options of like BB Survivor, BB Love Island, Survivor Love Island, just to like give those options as people to go into the arena. And I think that's great.
Do you think that they're having like a boardroom meeting and be like, okay, who are we putting together? And they're just like, okay, what is the messiest algorithm matchups that we could potentially have?
And you know what? I was paying attention because I think you said this last week that they will stack the order of the challenge, that it seemed to you like people they want to have a heads up or and a more option to win are going to be later. And here we are with Tyson going like basically last, giving him all the edge.
Exactly. So, I mean, it does seem at this point that Tyson is a production favorite. I mean, he might have had an appearance fee, so he could have been expensive to get on the show. That's a high possibility. But he is confessional gold. B, he's trained really hard to be on the show, and he is an excellent performer in all these challenges.
Yeah.
And C, he's really great at strategy. So like he is, I think, the perfect person to have on the show. And the more times that he's doing well and becoming more and more intimidating, even better. So he's going to last even longer. So I think that the producers, it's in their best interest to have him last as long as possible.
Yeah. I just thought that was interesting because so we have Tyson and Justine, which like you said is fun because Justine's like, but it's also like, Justine, get your head in the game. Tyson's actually a great person to be paired up for her. Leo and Angela, I still feel like that's a good team. They're giving Angela still her best shot here, but she went earlier than Tyson. Xavier and Azza, just hilarious. Cashel and Tiffany, interesting. Enzo and Alyssa, Danny and Desi, Dom and Shannon, Ben and Shan, Cinco and Cache, David and Kira.
Just saying. I mean, I wish though that Desi and Danny, this partnership wasn't kind of wasted right now, because I think that they would be really strong. I would like to see them be able to work in something that they could both be a little bit better at, and see how, like, just at least maybe get them to win the daily or something like that. So unfortunately, like, that pairing is gone forever, but it would have been a good one for maybe something else.
Yeah, gone for at least a while. I mean, maybe there's an option late in the game they get back together, but you're right, that's such a solid duo. All right, we're gonna see some Survivor players chatting here, and we're gonna kind of get the theme of the episode here, gonna lay it out for us. Tiffany, Shan's got the hot goss, and she says, Cinco and Tiffany might have had a thing. I mean, she said definitely had a thing. And they sort of discuss how Tiffany is running that BB23 crew.
How did you feel about her news segment?
I thought that was fun. That was funny.
I thought it was fun.
I mean, put it out there, because that's what it looked like. Shan was like, let me tell you some things. So,
and I would want to have Shan close, because she'd probably be giving me all the tea that she knows that I could use in whatever way I'd want to. I think that with Tiffany, that she was really great on Big Brother 23, and she was the mastermind. And I had also heard rumors of her maybe in Cinco having something before the season started. Like, I had heard these rumors as well. And so I can understand people in the house really easily buying into that, because it's something that even I, that's not living in LA or in that circle, like, I kind of heard something of that nature. So I understand why Shan would be nervous about Tiffany, because it does seem like she is able to make all these really close connections and have people working for her. So she wasn't necessarily playing the same game as she did in Big Brother 23, but what she did in BB23 kind of trailed over into this show, that people are going to assume that she had the same pull that she had beforehand. And it didn't seem like she really nurtured the relationships that she had with the women. It seemed like she only was paying attention with the relationships she had with the men. And so the women, or Shan kind of, and some of the other women, didn't feel like she was working with them.
Yeah, I mean, that's just the edit we get.
That's true.
Who really knows? Because we do know that Tiffany didn't play that game in Big Brother. Like, she wasn't all about the guys. She very much worked with the women of the house. And it sounds like, I mean, I talked to her in the exit interview the other day. It sounds like her and Ozza are very, very close. But I mean, I give Tiffany all the credit to be a strategic mastermind. She is good at manipulating. So yeah, if I were playing a game with her, I would either be her number one ally or I'd be
try to
getting
get
her out.
Mm-hmm.
She is dangerous.
She's scary. Yeah.
She's huge. She's like so good at this game, right?
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. And so I think that if she's not talking to even Shan in the game, like maybe they have a relationship outside the game and beforehand, and well, we respect each other, I love you, can't wait to play with you, whatever. But if that hasn't translated into the actual game, if you're not talking to somebody, you're talking to other people, and maybe you're their target. So I think that Tiffany maybe took for granted some of the relationships that she had outside of the game and didn't nurture them within the game, just to allow them to, that fear of her to really balloon outward, because they just didn't know what she was doing, right?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, boy.
Say it again, Sarah.
Yeah, boy.
Yeah, boy.
That's the name of this, and TJ says it way better than I do. This is incredible. We're hanging buoys, but they're made of tires, and we're going to go up them. We're going to jump on them. We're going to collect 5 letters at a time and jump down to do a bit of a crossword scramble thingy, Scrabble, where they have to connect. You only have 20 minutes. That's the setup. Oh boy.
I mean, love it, because I love any of these challenges that have multiple layers to it. So first you got to swim out there. Exhausting. Climb up that stupid like rope ladder thing. Terribly just like exhausting.
I'm done. I'm already done.
Jump onto a tire like thing at a distance, like hold on and stay on. That sucks. Grab good letters for like, you know to grab like letters that don't make that many words, and then jump down and swim back to shore and solve a puzzle. So it's then great.
Maybe do it again.
I mean, I'd just be I'd say like, I'll do this once. I'll go first. I'll do it once. I'll start working on the puzzle. You just bring me puzzle pieces.
Right.
That would be.
You go back out.
Yes. Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah. This is quite an exhausting thing. And also like just the upper body strength. You see like people jump and then go down, or latch on and actually stay. And you're just like, if they actually stay.
Yeah.
They fall. You're like,
It definitely is a kind of a typical challenge type thing where you're jumping from a platform onto something moving. Because remember we said they're going to be spinning.
Yeah.
They do that often on the show. So it's definitely something that I'm used to seeing. And TJ just loves an awkward fall. His little giggle over an awkward fall, as long as someone doesn't get hurt. But like when you see someone like flinging like and falls to the ground, like he's just like a little kid just cackling.
Yeah, I mean I'm new to TJ, but his little giggle got me. That was great. Ray, thank you for the super sticker. Thank you so much. I heard he did it 5 times.
Who, Tyson? I heard 5.
Yeah.
No. Well, we heard that Cashel said he did it 5, and Tyson did it the same amount of Cashel, correct?
Yes, which I think this is why order is important. But let's get there in a minute here. So, obviously, the most dramatic thing is James falling, which at first, like the first time he does it, he latches on, and I'm like tweeting, "What a beast! Oh my gosh!" And then boom, the second time it's like, "Ooh." What? Oh, yikes.
That sounded painful.
It sounded so painful. Meanwhile, Kayla, I don't think ever latched on. It showed her jumping and falling. Now, James said he did go back several times that the edit did not show, but they just never got any letters, therefore never got any words.
And did I also hear correctly that they went first, but the order on the episode showed them going second?
Oh, I didn't get that info.
I heard that. I like now I'm like, wait, where did I hear it from? So maybe I don't know if that's 100%, but that's something that I did hear also. And I'm just curious as to why you would think that maybe they'd want to change that order.
Right. Maybe just to get us started. And then they were like, then the drama happens. I don't know. But yeah, this is not a good showing for them. And then meanwhile, Now everyone can see everyone's words, which I do feel like that is helping people who are standing there, just to like have words in your head, just like, oh, that word, that word, that word.
Yeah, I forget which season. I think it was last season, 41 of Survivor, where it was Ricard was just thinking of like every, I don't know, it was 4-letter word or 6-letter word. He's just like thinking of those kind of words just to like get it into his brain as to like, how do we get those rhyming words? You can just think of like a bunch of that, like, so I agree.
Right.
Like seeing words up there, thinking of word combinations in your head, when you see the words in the letters in the tires, you'd be like, oh, okay, I got that letter. Like it just would help you be able to plan a little bit better.
Yeah.
Familiar with the words and the letters.
Right. So everyone now just has to get one word, and that's exactly what's going to happen. So the edit here is going to show Tyson being an absolute beast, going out over and over and over again and letting Justine just like spell a bunch of words. And that's going to pay off because she gets 9 words. Now, what Cashel and Tiffany told me in their exit interview was that when they got 6 words, they were in the lead for like way long. They had that lead forever. And then Tyson comes in and has to match how many times Cashel went back out there, because he went out there 5 times, which the edit doesn't really show us that he kept going out there. And Tyson just had to match that. But they end up getting more words.
I also thought it was funny because we get Tyson's confessional being like, oh, yeah, like a whole old runner's or a biker's trick is like, you breathe through your nose when you're passing them so it doesn't look like you're winded. It just, shows strength and power. And then I hear Cashel in the exit interview saying like, when he got up there, he was winded. He was gassed. Like, and I was like, he didn't fool Cashel.
He didn't fool. He was like, look at me, I'm just walking by all chill. And then he was like, when he got to the top. That was pretty funny. Hi, Jolene.
Hi, Jolene. Also, okay, what's your thought? I mean, I definitely think that this was a pretty good challenge in general.
Yeah.
But do you think it would have been better if like there was like crossword rules, or like, how many like the length of words had a bit of a meaning? So like I think it was manipulative that Angela had in her thing, which is like a great long word using lots of letters, but like she could have maybe broken that up into like 3 or 4 words. So but like a long lettered word, like if it was like how many letters did you actually use, maybe doing it that way, would you think that counting the points that way would have been better, and or making it not a crossword puzzle and it's kind of like Boggle rules where it's like 3-letter words, 4-letter words, 5-letter words, and you just had them all kind of separately? So just curious as your thought there.
Well, yeah, I mean, I kind of analyzed it as like, oh, that's the wrong strategy, because this is how they're doing it. Just by word, don't give me a long word.
Right.
Give me lots of little words. That's how you score in this way. But yeah, you're right. If they took into account, okay, you have 6 words, but you used
19 letters, 40 letters. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, as opposed to this person has 6 words, but they only use like 25 letters. That would have been absolutely fun to see that twist on it for sure. Because who was it? Angela, who was like, we have a strategy of doing like 1 long word, or was it Derek?
I think it was.
I mean, Derek had like 2 or 3 words. It was like, Derek.
I mean, it could be a good strategy for the sense that you have a lot of places to place words. So, you have just so many letters where you can put new 3-letter words, 4-letter words onto. But I think it used up so many letters that maybe you should have just put late. Like if it was manipulate,
put man, late, like let's exactly, so that's unfortunate that is not the right strategy. So you're not going to win this. So obviously here Tyson and Justine are walking away with the win. They're going to get 5,000 each. Tyson is already the richest person in the show, and James and Kayla are only team that got 0 goose egg. Ugh.
I was very sad for them, because especially them being an Amazing Race team, that them being thrown in there, it's just like, they don't have that many people that would be willing to save them or throw, but it's just hard for them. So I was worried that they weren't going to get the team that they wanted to go against, and that we might lose both of them in, depending on what they decided to do.
Yeah. So just like behind the scenes info, you guys know that James and I are friends and we're neighbors. Like I see him all the time. I told him I don't want spoilers. You guys know that about me as well. I don't want spoilers of the show. He's not supposed to tell me anyway. But he did say I'm going to Florida to watch the second episode with Kayla. So at this point in the episode, I was like, oh, he went to Florida to watch the episode with Kayla because they're both about to be eliminated. And I was like, oh, no. I mean, yeah, like we talked about earlier in this recap, like two people from the same show. This is a great opportunity. They're automatically going to the arena. Let's kick them out. But James and Tyson kind of had a bit of a deal last episode we saw. So it looks like in this discussion room thing, I wish we had a name for this, but I'm going to call it discussion room.
Or deliberation is a challenge term.
Okay.
Sometimes this moment, depending on the structure of the game, is called like a deliberation. Sometimes it's the whole house where people go around and they vote who they want to throw in. Like there's obviously different ways that they utilize it, but deliberation is a pretty common the challenge phrase. If you call it that, everybody would know what you're talking about.
We're going to call it deliberation, guys. In deliberation, Tyson does seem open to hearing what James and Kayla say. And James, Mr. Strategy, he's got some good stuff to say.
I was obsessed when he was like, you know, Justine, like, I just want to suggest this, but like, don't feel like you need to do this. And he's like, but what about Tiffany and Cashel? You know, we'd be getting someone from Big Brother. Like, do you have a relationship with Cashel? And like, I love that he was just very gentle with like just lobbing that as an option in there. And just to see how she might react to it. And she was just like, no, like, I would be fine with that. Like, and it was just so good.
She's like, yeah, think about that.
Right. But like that probably wouldn't have been an option necessarily if he hadn't have brought it up.
Yeah.
You know,
because he did it, you know, the obvious thing is like a Big Brother, a duo, right? And we've got a couple of them here. We've got Azah and Xavier. We've got Enzo and Alyssa. Like those are just easy duos to get out of one show. But Tiffany is such a, you know, a threat in this game. Would you be open to that with Cashel? Like, yeah, it was just so kind of like chill, not pushing an agenda. And it's just like, yeah, simmer on that. And that's what it seems like they do, is they simmer on that.
And, you know, I think also the fact that it seems like from Cashel's exit interview that he wasn't really putting in the work to making nice or friends with all the women. So he said that he was good with Kira, his ex, but he wasn't, he was kind of receiving the cold shoulder from the other women from Love Island. And you don't want to be receiving the cold shoulder from people from your show, especially when there's a lot of them, because that's not good for your game. So obviously he doesn't know the game very well. He didn't do any sort of strategizing, it seems. So,
which is what we thought. Like he's obviously physically set for this type of show, but Love Island doesn't have the strategic experience that the other players just automatically have from doing this kind of stuff already, whether they were great at it or not. They've at least been through it, you know. And it seems like that's what we're seeing from the Love Island people who've left, who were like,
what happened? Wait, there was stuff going on?
Yeah. What? But yeah, it did sound like he was not vibing with the Love Island girls. So it wasn't like we're an automatic alliance.
And I'm just wondering, like, I guess he doesn't have any sort of strategy instinct. Maybe he will another time if he came onto the show. But like, I would have sussed out that I could be a potential if I'm not getting along with my show and I'm with somebody that's considered to be the strategic mastermind. And I'm sure there were rumblings about any sort of dissension between Cash, Cinco, and Tiffany. So I would have been like on high alert and I'd been going to work to make sure that it was not me and Tiffany going into the arena.
And we do see Tiffany does know this though, right? She's got the vibe. And Ozza posted on Instagram that Ozza told Tiffany, like, girl, you better be worried. So that was in Tiffany's head. And we do see Tiffany talk to Tyson. So she thinks she has done the work. Tyson's making promises. But before that, they do show us Cinco carrying Tiffany to bed, which I don't know if that's really part of the problem here. But
I think it's a part of the problem because, listen, if you're on a love show, I mean, I know that it has nothing to do with strategy and like, you know, it seems petty and it's nothing about game, but it is part of the game because this is what the challenge is that it's putting people put together in these awkward pairings or duos or circumstances to cause drama. So it's very natural for the challenge to have these kind of blow ups and situations. So the fact that she's already flirting with him, and I would think like if Cash and Tiff, because there's been a lot of more drama outside of this episode, like on the Twitter streets and Instagram lives, like there's a lot more drama that's been going on. But if like what Cache was saying, and even what Tiffany was saying, that they thought that they had a friendship and an understanding and they were excited to get to know each other and play together, if that was true, I would not, as Tiffany, be saying in my confessional, that ain't your man. Like it just seems a little bit insensitive to my new acquaintance. I get it. And it's true.
And it does make me think there was a past with them, right? If you've moved on with a guy, you're more apt to say he's not your man because you feel like he might be kind of your man.
Exactly.
Right? If there was nothing going on between us and I was friends with you, then I would not think he's not your man anymore, right? You just don't think that way.
Exactly.
So there's a bit of a triangle there.
I understand why Cache might be hurt. I feel like their relationship was very fresh, or their breakup, I mean. And if I'm hearing correctly, that they broke up because there was allegations of him cheating. I don't know if it was with Tiffany or with whom, or if it was just other people that are just like, oh my God, Love Island star Cinco, let me make out with you, whatever. But I believe that he didn't deny cheating and just kind of left her on red, and that was kind of like their breakup. So it was just kind of messy at the bottom that he, like at the end of it, he didn't say definitively no, there wasn't any cheating. He didn't say yes, there was any cheating, but he also didn't respond whatsoever, and that was their breakup. So I think that Cache has a little bit of good reason to feel a little bit hurt by this.
Right. You just can't help but be hurt and now you're stuck with your ex. That just stinks in general.
And your new friend is telling you to like not to get over it. He's not your man. Like, I don't know. I'd feel a type of way.
It's tough. Yep. Well,
and I'd also expect my friends to rally with me. So I'd be like, better be me, Tim.
Right.
And her. Like,
which is what we kind of see, right? She's like making her rounds to like her ladies and is like, let's rally up. Yeah, for sure. But so when Tiffany does talk to Tyson and he is making her feel safe, she says, I'd prefer Enzo and Alyssa instead of X and Ozza, which is no surprise to us, right? And honestly, this should be a bit of a red flag to Tyson. And you should, as you're ruminating on things, that just proves that the cookout is still a thing. She's okay with Enzo and Alyssa going kind of a.
And if like I'd heard that as Tyson, I'd go right to Alyssa and Enzo and being like, Tiffany doesn't care if you're here in this game or not. Like, aren't you guys in the same show? Aren't you working together? Like, I would probably, use that, or at least to have it in the back of my mind to see that she's not completely loyal to some of these people. Anyways, I know that she didn't really have that many options, and she kind of has to say a name because if she doesn't say a name, that looks probably a little more sketchy. But I feel like she could have maybe been like, Tyson, I can't choose between all my people. Like, I can't choose. Like, I'd probably have to go that route because I think that looking disloyal, it would be a little bit worse if than giving up a name.
Interesting.
I think. I mean, I don't know what I'd do, what I was actually in there, but I think that I would have to be like, I can't say anybody.
Well, now we see Alyssa and Xavier. Oh, the history these two have. And Alyssa is very clear with us in her confessionals that she remembers BB23 well, and she remembers being very loyal to Xavier. He was her bestie, and it was not reciprocal. Other things were happening behind her back, and she's remembering that this season of this show. So, what is your feeling? Because I'm seeing mixed vibes on Twitter, which is no shock. But what is your vibe on Alyssa and this like bit of revenge vibe?
I mean, I'm down with the revenge bit. Like, like okay, some people are saying like, oh, they're doing it for the culture, so she shouldn't be offended by it. True, but she could still have her feelings be hurt that she's lied to the entire season. Even if it was for a good cause, she was a casualty of something that she wasn't a part of. And so I could definitely see myself feeling hurt about it. And when you're getting invited onto a new show and you want to have a storyline so that you're going to be well represented and be a part of the show, you kind of had to go with whatever storyline that is kind of presented for you. And hers is that she has this past relationship with Xavier, and that she wants to have revenge against him. Like, that's a great storyline to push through the whole season, because now we're going to be like, who's going to get who first? Who's going to be the dummy? Is she going to get that, or is she going to have a change of heart and like not be able to follow through? Like, we want to see that storyline progress. And so I think that whether or not she's really that upset, I think she's playing it up for the camera a little bit just to have a storyline.
Right.
And I'm here for it, because as much as he really, really liked Alyssa, he did lie to her for a whole season. And it's fine for her to feel shitty about it.
We saw her learn about the cookout and be understanding about it, right? She's bummed she's out, just like Derek X. Bummed I got out. Claire, bummed I got out. But like, we get it. We understand. You guys outplayed us. You know, great. But we're talking about a new show. If Alyssa came into a new show and was like, Xavier, we're working together again, I'd be like, girl, what? Why would you do the same exact thing when it didn't quite go your way the last time, right? I would question that.
Exactly.
So I think she's playing this great. Like, she's playing friendly with BB, but she knows that she's not going to the end with some of these people.
Absolutely.
But this guilt trip that she puts on Xavier, I was like, juicy girl, you lord it over his head and make him go to work for you. Absolutely.
I mean, I think she deserves for him to do that for her. Like, you know, let's help me get further in this particular game, since like I, unbeknownst to me, helped you win $750,000. So I think that you can help me stay out of elimination.
Yeah.
Thanks.
She's like, where are you for me when I need help here? Like, when are you going to step it up? And he somewhat does, right? So we see him talk to Tyson. We don't see a lot of the conversation, so I wonder what words he actually used. But we kind of see Tyson being like, well, if I do this, I go for Tiffany, you know, you got my back on that. And he's, of course, 100% supportive.
I mean, he's basically just giving the okay that like Tiffany, he's not going to come and retaliate against him for taking out Tiffany. It's basically the agreement. And I don't even think that he would have been that mad without Tyson making that deal with him. You know what I mean? Or like having that conversation. I don't think that, even though Tiffany felt as though she was strong with her people from Big Brother 23, I don't think she realized that they weren't as solid as she thought they were.
Yeah, I mean, Xavier wanted to get rid of Tiffany for most of Big Brother 23.
Yeah,
right?
They weren't. And she hasn't, I don't think, watched the season yet. If she watches the season, she might not have been so easy to like be forgiving all these people, right? Like, and trusting them, because they weren't very kind to her especially during the last few weeks. And it made me actually not really enjoy Kyle and Derek F or Xavier for how they treated her. And so if she knew how they treated her, I do not think that she would be laying her game into their hands. Like, I think she would be a little bit more like wary of their decisions and their actions.
That's an interesting point. I didn't think about that. I mean, I know that they have a different experience than us. Like, we watched people not being respectful, and we get so upset about that, but they lived it, right? And they come out of the house with this like PTSD, and I think that they have to kumbaya together to get through it, right? So Xavier might have been like, yeah, sorry, I said some things. And she's like, cool, it's, it's the game, whatever. And they become friends. But yeah, did he truly have her back?
I don't think
No.
she really likes her that much. I don't think he actually likes her.
Here we are again, and he just doesn't. He's not forced into it. They didn't make an agreement this time. Maybe they probably made some agreement, but
and no matter what, he's a Taurus and she's a Leo, and they do not like Taurus does not like Leo antics. They just like can't stand them wanting the spotlight, them getting all the attention, it all being about them. Like Taurus hates that. So
it's true.
That is true. Would, no matter what, will always choose Alyssa over Tiffany. Alyssa has a little Cancer, like emotional, like he's connected to her. Like,
yeah. I mean, we saw him crush on Alyssa for months, and Tiffany did say they are still very good friends. So that bond is stronger than what their bond is, and she didn't realize that. So here we go, going into the arena. It's like, is this going to be Tiffany? Yes, it is going to be Tiffany.
And didn't you love when Tyson was like, that was your first blind side? To Justine, like, how did that feel? I was like,
she's all like, hey,
taste the blood.
I was like, Justine is getting a crash course in this from Tyson. Like that week or however many days they were a duo, I hope she sucked it all in.
Because she kind of said she did a little bit, that she was getting like, she's just learning how to play this game from like the best. And it's true.
It is true. I'm so glad that she took that arc, because that's what, at first I was like, girl, do it. Do not like hold a grudge against Tyson. Like, let's play the game.
I love that she was able to, match up with him and excel, win it with him, because that's going to be really good for her confidence, because she hasn't been on this show, but she is a fan of competitive reality. So I believe she watched the challenge beforehand. If I'm not mistaken, she has also auditioned for Survivor before. So she probably knows Tyson and who he is. And so I think that it was really probably good for her spirits to become, like, at this point, I could see her becoming a staple in the challenge franchise, because I thought she performed really well, and she's strong, she's very likable, and I want to see her do more. So I think it's really great for Justine.
Yeah. Right. Him as a mentor. Ooh, love it. Okay, here we are. We're in the arena. We've got James and Kayla, obviously. Boom. We've got Tiffany and Cashel. And then they give us the receipts, because it's like, actually, Big Brother didn't really want you around, Tiff. And it's like, oh, gosh.
And TJ is just like calling out, like, Tiffany, like, what happened? And she's like, I don't know.
I do not know here. Tiffany and Cashel, okay, we're it's a spin class. We're taking a Peloton here.
Do you have a Peloton at home?
No. Girl, no way.
I don't either, but I've been considering it, just because, like, those classes look so fun.
They do seem fun, but it would require me to do cycling, and that's not my jam. So, yeah, I would have been like Tiffany. I'd have been up there like, oh, no, this thing.
Yeah. It kind of sucks.
Yeah, well, they get to phase one quickly, and the phases are like memory, right? We've got a memory thing here. Again, these are very Amazing Race type challenges. So I have to imagine these Amazing Race people are going to do well. And we are kind of seeing that.
Definitely, I could see that on the Amazing Race as like a sponsored task by Peloton, where they have like a whole big audience of people, and they have to, like, because we see James taking off his shirt and like making a show for the people that were watching. I could totally see that as an Amazing Race task. And I love the fact that Kayla, who we knew had trouble with the memory task on her season of the Amazing Race, that, just seeing her being able to, like, she probably practiced, because she was doing mnemonics there. Like, she was like figuring out ways to like remember it as a story, taking these images and doing it in a way that's really great for quick memory retention. So as much as I love Tiffany, I was rooting for the Amazing Race team to come out on top.
Well, yeah, you're kind of like, oh, wow, this is an interesting moment for Kayla. She lost the Amazing Race because of a memory challenge. But Tiffany and Cashel, even though they get to phase one first, they kind of just flame out, like they're tired, like their cycling just doesn't seem to kick up. Whereas James and Kayla are just like, we're still going, and the crowd is like cheering them on, and they're like, we got this, we got it. Like they have that a lighter energy about them. They also were not just blindsided.
And
So
also
they
I
have
heard that
vibe.
Tiffany had hurt her ankle, so she does have an ankle injury while she's doing this pedaling. So that could also prevented her from being a really fast pedaler if she has like, you know, any sort of injury with her ankle.
Well, James and Kayla, they are going to just get the next phase and the next phase and the next phase, and boom, they're going to win this. And here's the thing I don't love about this show is that the losers just walk off and then that's it. I don't know. I feel like we don't get anything with them, like barely.
Usually TJ will say things like, maybe it'll be like, see you never, or like, can't wait to see you again. And so sometimes we're waiting to see whether or not TJ likes them enough to be like inviting them back again. So I actually don't remember what he said for those two. I mean, that's kind of how it is though. They're done. And then you see like the winning team go back and join the rest of the people. So
yeah,
it's kind of the exit that they want to have. Like some people are giving like middle fingers to the people up there. Like, you know what I mean? Like some people are like crying. Some people, you know, I guess it just depends on the people and how they actually exit, but they don't do any fanfare for them at all.
No, I guess I'm just like waiting for some sort of,
battle back.
I mean, I guess, no, like I'm thinking of like a Julie interview, a Ressa interview, but like at least Survivor, we get like a, wow, I got a plate. I didn't see that coming or something. But you're right. We do get a little bit.
Give you a little like confessional after the fact. Like,
yeah. But anyway, okay, bye. That's it. Tiffany and Cashel walk off. Congrats to James and Kayla. They're still in it. And honestly, you know, we're all Tiffany fans here. And Cashel was a great, you know, physical player for this game. But I have to understand it and support anybody taking out one of the biggest targets in the game.
Absolutely. And a lot of people were saying like, oh, it was so dumb for Justine to take out one of her numbers. Well, if he's not really one of her numbers, like who cares about Cashel then? If she can't definitively know that Cashel would not turn on her, like it's fine. And if like all of her alliance, they don't know what Cashel will do, then he's kind of a liability. And so the fact that he solidify his relationship with those women of Island made it easy for Justine to be like, we could lose him. So yeah.
Also, is she trading Tyson as a number? Like, is she in with Tyson now? Because that's just fine. Like,
and I'm sure Tyson would rather not have, you know, the strategic mastermind of Tiffany playing against him necessarily. Like, you know, it seemed like they were kind of, you know, working together, like the figureheads for Survivor, figurehead for Big Brother, like they're coming to kind of an agreement. But like, also if you can get her out, like you don't have to worry about somebody that's just strategically strong. So I think that Tyson probably also influenced the fact that like Cashel is strong muscly. Like what was his two terms? Model muscles or practical muscles?
Or practical muscles, which I love that he brought that up because I bring that up all the time. Because we see big guys come into Big Brother or even Survivor, and we find out they're just model muscles. Like if you just go to the gym to look good, you can't actually use those muscles. It doesn't work.
Yeah, I call them popcorn muscles, but I think I'm going to call them model muscles for now on.
Model muscles. I loved it. Yeah, I mean, I think that probably Tyson was willing, like you said, to kind of work with Tiffany a little bit as these figurehead types. But Cashel looked like Tyson's biggest physical threat. And so to just be kind of handed this opportunity.
He has to take them both out? Like
he has to take that opportunity.
100%, and with no real blood in their hands, with people like wanting them to do that, like nobody's coming back to be angry with him about doing that.
Yeah, apparently.
Kind of perfect.
He like checks around and they're all like, "That's fine, get Tiffany out. We don't care." He's like, "Okay, great.
We will do that.
Sign me up. Let's go." So yeah, this episode was wild. I loved it. And I loved getting to talk to Tiffany and Cashel afterwards because it was interesting to sort of see the blind side of it all.
Have you been following though the drama outside of it all? I mean, I would like for maybe James to do a little bit of an expose because I saw him getting lap dances down in Miami.
I mean, honestly, James is like, I want to stay out of the drama, but he's like, he's up there with them all in Florida, so I think it's probably hard to stay out of it. I did find it interesting to see who is in Florida because, you know,
I would assume that those are people that do well-ish, right?
Well, I don't know if they do well-ish, but they're definitely together. Right.
Right. I mean, when you say well-ish, I mean like stayed together long enough to build a bond to go and hang out.
Right. So it looks like, you know, James, Cachet, Shannon, Kayla, and Kyland.
Kyland getting a lap dance from Cachet for his birthday.
They seem to have a good working relationship, whereas Tiffany is not there.
Someone in the chat said that I think it was Tiffany unfollowed Kyland or vice versa.
I certainly don't follow things that closely, so I wouldn't know. That is interesting.
Very. Who else was there? Oh, Shannon was. No, not Shannon. Angela was there as well. Which I was surprised because she doesn't seem like she would go out to the party.
Right. She doesn't usually do that social kind of stuff. Like Xavier doesn't do these social events. Like it doesn't matter if he's there or not. But yeah, it is interesting to see Angela go down there. But she's close.
She's close. Yeah, she's in South Carolina. Was there anybody else there that I'm forgetting? But I was like, okay, these people really get along.
Oh, yeah, DX was there.
Oh, my God, and Claire. DX gave Kyland a lap dance. Oh, and Brent Champagne.
Oh, right. I'm going to forget that he was there because he's not even on the show.
Well, could you forget though, seeing Kayla getting lifted upside down by the stripper? Did you see that?
Oh, I missed that. I didn't.
Really awkward.
I don't think I saw that.
She's like wearing a dress and he like lifts her up upside down and she's like holding her dress, but like laughing, but with her face like in his crotch. It's just like, and they're saying like basically they were catfished by the stripper because like I guess he didn't look like his picture.
Oh,
he seemed a little bit long in the tooth, we'll say.
Oh.
Yeah,
you guys know I don't follow drama that much. Like I don't even follow half these people on Instagram or Twitter or anything, but I just saw a couple things.
Well, on my like Reality Realness Instagram, I follow everybody. So like anytime like their lives will pop up, like I will be able to click and see the notifications. So yeah, I follow all of them on that channel.
And you definitely sent me one of them. I saw that. Yeah, it seems like some drama has spillaged over into to life. These people
the only
are
thing
dealing with things.
Don't understand, and you might not have the answer to this. I haven't gone and done some investigative work. How does Desi fit into this? Because Desi and Tiffany are no longer friends anymore. Or like I don't know in real life, but like on like social media. And I'm just trying to figure out what her role was because I think that Desi was the person that was saying that we'll dress up in lingerie to get in Cashier's head. I don't know, something like that. Anyways, you don't know.
Was that Desi?
I think
I thought it was Cachet. Or was it Desi? Is that what? Yeah,
Cachet did the who, and then I believe that Tiffany said the person's name. Anyways,
yeah, I certainly don't know how Desi fits in. I mean, it doesn't seem like Desi's too mixed up in this, but she obviously is close with Shan, and Shan will talk. So maybe there is some sort of anti-Tiffany sentiment with Survivor and Love Island. I mean, obviously Love Island.
Well, Shan was probably intimidated by Tiffany and allowed maybe to mush around like the truth a little bit. I'm not sure. I still don't know what the truth is. I don't know. I don't know.
Well, it's interesting. I guess this is what happens when you go on go on these shows.
Well, yeah, it gets messy. So with the challenge in general, this
Yeah.
always kind of happens because they bring back usually a large amount of people that have competed on past shows together. So, some of them are exes, some of them were like married before. Sometimes the actual theme is exes or themes rivals, and you're working in a partnership with somebody that you can't stand. So it's highly promoted, the drama on these series, and I'm sure that's why Cache and Cinco both got cast at the same time, and also why they kind of maybe brought the whole cookout together, because like, hey, we know there's going to be some drama there, so the challenge is always looking for the drama.
Well, I guess they had it, but it's not taking over the episodes, so I like that. I feel like we've got strategic and challenging episodes. All right, well, that was episode 2, y'all. Episode 3, I feel like we're on a wild ride here with this season.
I love it so far. Do you know how many episodes it's supposed to be?
I don't, actually.
I don't know either. I don't know if it's like 10 or 13.
How are the pairs going to be mixed up coming up? I mean, what's the next messy thing?
Next messy. Yeah, that's a good question. Hold on, let me think. Well, Cinco might have to be partnered up with somebody, maybe another Love Island person, maybe Shannon, who is Cache's best friend. That could be kind of messy. Maybe it'll be a Cache, and maybe we'll put them with Tyson. I know that they must get partnered up at one point because Cache gets an argument of some sort with Tyson, it seems. So I don't know if that's because like after they had a partnership and then expected to have some sort of allegiance or loyalty to each other. Yeah. Not sure. So maybe they'll be put together now. Like, who's Tyson kind of would be a little bit like a friction?
Yeah, I don't know. Like, I don't know. What I want to see is like, what's another good, strong duo that can oust Tyson? I mean, I'm all for Tyson running things, but like, we got to mix it up a little.
Right now, it's probably nobody. Maybe Danny, or maybe Cinco. They're both very strong, but I just don't know how good like they are.
Sarah and Danny or something like that. Like, I feel like Sarah's a strong person, and if she's paired up with, who's the other strong person? Danny,
Ben, maybe.
I think Cinco has model muscles. Do we know?
It's possible. I mean, some of I'll send you some of the videos of him in his gym. He's fit though. He might not be good at some of these things.
Doesn't like Sarah. That's true.
They don't like each other. But do you think they'll put them together?
I mean, that would be funny to see. But I want Sarah to beat him at something first, and then they can get together.
Maybe Alyssa with Xavier.
You mean like Angela? You want Alyssa with Xavier?
Well, like, I'm just trying to think of, like, she doesn't necessarily like Xavier. I'm just trying to think of what the algorithm might do for maximum drama.
You're thinking messy. I'm thinking to beat. Xavier definitely has model muscles. Like, he's good, but like,
he's not great.
He's no Tyson. Yeah.
He's not reliable.
Angela, I don't know. I think Xavier is
no, Angela with maybe Danny.
Yeah, Angela with Danny might be fun. Like, I think Angela and Leah was a good possibility, but that didn't work out.
Also, like, Angela and Enzo are in a partnership at some point in like the super trailer, and he's pacing. So I'm wondering if it's because they won and they're trying to decide who to throw in. So maybe that's a thing.
Okay, interesting. Well, we will find out on Wednesday, you guys. Thank you, everyone in the chat who's hanging out with us. We are still trying to dial in. I think it's going to be Saturdays. We might have to switch up the schedule, but we will keep you guys all informed because I have to talk to Chantele about this show.
Yeah, it's so fun.
Yay! All right, and if you guys are watching later, leave a comment. Let us know how you're feeling about this random algorithm.
And I want to know who they think is going to be paired up together. Like, who, like, for either maximum messy, so maybe a couple of maximum messy duos, and then maximum power duos. I would love to see people's idea.
Good call. All right. We will see you guys next week. Thank you. Bye.